people, in this video we'll discuss about Global Perspective 0452 paper pattern. So this written examination paper is of 70 marks. Also, by the end of this video, you will understand the way of answering the question required because this video will be fully based on it. So before jumping into the discussion part, I would first like you to read the candidate respond to get a very clear idea of what examiner is expecting you to write. Okay, let's move now. And also you can make notes of everything shown in this video because each and everything is really important and you need to keep in mind all this thing while writing your answer. First, if we move, we have the definition. This is type of information which is mostly asked in question number 3a and b part. So here we have first fact, opinion, prediction, value judgment, and vested interest. So these are the common, and out of these, the vested interest is the one which is very common thing being asked in Feb March series. You can just have a look and you can even write this thing in your notes. Moving further, an issue is a topic or problem that can be debated or discussed. I hope that you are well aware of the two terms very generally used, which is cause and consequences. Cause is a reason for why the event is happening, as it is written something which produce a result, a person or thing which can be responsible for the situation, action or event. And consequences is the effect which follows logically from a cause, thing which happens because of another situation, action and event. Okay, we have different type of perspectives: personal perspective, local perspective, national and global. You can just have a look of these perspectives. So mainly the reason for this to let you know is that many times in in question number 1D part, you are being asked about why it is a national issue. So for that you should see the question from the national perspective, like issue related to the government policy, what is best for the country and the way in which people of that country see things. So make a note if you want of these perspective. This part will give you detail of question number 1C. Okay, many times we are being asked that why is the particular cause is very significant. So here are some points which you can add on to your answer. Another is that also you can tell the consequences or the impact benefit for individual country and the world. Human rights issues affect everyone. Issues of value and belief about rights and responsibility. Morality issues of right and wrong from different perspective. Vulnerable individual groups and other reasonable response are also valid. Moving further, which is about the strength and weaknesses of the argument. When we talk about the strength, so we can say that the strength of the argument, there will be a lot of question from the candidates about this question, because here when this question appears, many of the people you tend to write in the bullet points. So I would suggest that avoid writing in bullet points and start writing in the paragraphs. Use the lines given to use and avoid you overwriting from the lines, because whatever the lines or the space given to use, utilize that. You can just write in very small word, don't write in very big words. So try to write in very small words and try to fit everything in the line provided to you and avoid going over lines. Okay, so when we talk about the strength and weaknesses, first thing you can write is that how you will start. start like this: the writer used reasonable tone to state his opinion in this article. He has used evidence from, if they have used evidence from UN, then you can say that the writer has used an evidence from the UN to prove his claim. Okay, and like that thing you can just write. So when we say about the strength, you can say if there is an factual evidence, is the factual evidence is generally relevant, is the evidence related to clarity and explicitity to the argument, is the evidence used forcefully in the strong worded argument? Is research evidence cited? Is personal experience used? If the strength is not given, for example, if the factual information or factual evidence is not given, then you can convert this point into the weaknesses. Then you can say that the factual evidence or more factual and statistic information is not given. This will likely to make reader question its reliability, or it is likely to be biased if there is no counter argument. We'll come up to it here. When we talk about weaknesses, you can say that the research evidence is particularly cited, the source and authorship are not clear, level of expertise of the author is not given, so you can say that they may have poor knowledge claim, method of research is unclear. There is, as I told you, you can just say that, you can say that there is very less statistic information given, the evidence is not easy to verify or check from the information provided. There is too much reliance on the opinion and personal anecdote, which means that personal experience. Evidence may be out of date. Personal testimony may not apply to the other place or to the other countries. And there are the other reasons which are valid. Moving further, here most of the people have doubts in this question. Testing the claim. For this question, I would like you to read the latest candidate response to understand how they have written. In most of the candidate response, you will see that the testing the claim will be upon these information given. You can use all this thing written here. For example, how you'll start? You'll start with that. To test this claim, I would use the different type of information that are from diverse source yet reliable and different methods. Then you will say that the information that I would use would be to compare the statistic for individual country or globally, interview or questionnaire data, expert testimony, material from international NGOs and pressure group, and other relevant responses. You can also refer the mark scheme of the latest paper. If you are appearing for the May-June series, then I would say that you must go through the latest 2023 October, November and May-June series, because they are really helpful. Coming further, then possible source of information, then you can use national and local government and the department information, international organization, research report, pressure group, charities or non-government organization, medias and world wide web. For the method, you can say that you would review secondary resources, interview, you can also interview people, relevant expert, internet research, and as well as questionnaires. You can say that you could use that, and then you could add on that you could hand out the questionnaires to the local people if the question is based on it. Then I would suggest you to use the keywords given in the question. For example, if they will give you the statement, and that statement you have to prove it, so use the key terms in the statement given to you and then write it accordingly. For example, if the statement is to that you need to test the claim of the something, for example motor vehicles, that how many people use motor vehicle, then you can say that I would interview the local people because they are the one who are using it, and at the end you can say that by this I would test the claim. Next question will be upon questioning knowledge claim. This would be 3C, where you need to say that which person is more convincing. So while evaluating reasoning in the source material, you need to consider all of this while you are writing the answer. Remember, you need to consider the quality of the argument, clarity, tone, language, balance, quality of the evidence they have used, relevance, sufficiency of the sample, source, either they have used from media or the radio, date, how recent it is from the source that they have used, factual, opinion, value, and anecdote, testimony, either they have used the evidence from the expert, from their experience or the experts, knowledge claim, ability to see, source of bias, gender, politics, personal values, experience, likelihood of solutions working, and consequences of their ideas, accessibilities of their values to other, how likely other people are going to argue with their perspective. And also you can say that which statement does have the all of the perspective, all three perspective. For example, you can consider that under the balance. For example, if one argument does have the personal, local, and global perspective, or the national perspective as well, so it's, you need to consider all of this, and then you can come to the conclusion. And you also need to mention that by these all the resources or by the evidence that they have mentioned, I have came to the conclusion. Like this, you can come to the conclusion and you can write all this thing. Moving further, the last question, which is of 24 marker. Many times what happens that if you see that 2023 May June has the different, for example, the earlier what they used to do, that they used to give three options, and out of which particular one option government may choose. But now, even also in Feb March 2024, what they've asked, that how do you agree with this statement, that simply said this. And for that, I think that you might have a very less content, but remember this five things and you can write your answer briefly. First thing, that refer to the scale of impact on individual, group, governmental behavior, actions. You can say that how this is gonna to impact people, their education or their daily life, they how this action would gonna impact them. Then also you can say that how long it will take to implement that particular policy that they are thinking into the real practical situation. Then you can say that effect of cultural differences and beliefs, whether everyone will agree. If they'll not agree, then there will be conflict of interest. Remember to use this one term, which is conflict of interest. And how long it will take, as I said, barriers to change. If you want to change in the future, if the government want to change the policies or the actions, how they are going to change, is will there be any barriers to change the policies they have right now going to implement. Then you can say that power of collective actions. If every one of the, like, for example, government, business, and businessmen, and everyone is collectively taking the action, then how this gonna have the impact on the society, and how either it might have positive or negative. So remember to use the one keyword and make exaggerate that keyword. For example, if you are using barriers to change for first paragraph, then remember to exaggerate that.